Welcome to this presentation all about meal prepping. Our goal is to help you achieve lasting success in lifestyle habits, and we should discuss practical ways to do so. A priceless habit that you should develop is meal preparation. Meal prepping isn't only about the food, but it's a much deeper philosophy. People who prepare their own food and take charge of their own lives are proactive rather than reactive and make deliberate decisions that advance them towards their objectives. This mental state has a positive impact on every other aspect of your daily life. Just as bad eating habits lead to bad habits, there are numerous practical advantages to preparing your own food. Number 1, you will be planning and calculating your future eating, which makes staying on track a lot easier. Number 2, you are less likely to give into temptation when you have your own food available on hand. And number 3, you save time and money. There's no need to go all out if you are new to meal prepping. If this is something that you haven't done ever in your life, you can start out small. Start out with just 1 or 2 meals a day. You don't even have to prepare your meals. Just know where and what you will be eating and what macronutrient composition it has ahead of time. We will cover that later. The first thing that goes into meal preparation is the food itself. The newer this is to you, the simpler you should keep it so you do not get overwhelmed. For instance, instead of preparing a complicated meal, you might want to prepare 2 chicken breasts, 1 boiled egg, a few nuts, a cup of brown rice, and some salad. It's very easy to prepare and calculate the macros for this. And we'll explain that at the end. And so I showed you here, like the 2 chicken breasts are a protein. The hard-boiled egg is a protein and a healthy fat. A couple of nuts are healthy fats. A cup of cooked brown rice is a complex carbohydrate, and then the salad is regular carbs. And we're not going to get into it here, but there's simple and complex carbohydrates. I'm just going to touch on it quickly. Simple carbohydrates are the ones that are easily digestible and have little or no nutritional value. Think of soda, candy, white rice, white bread, those mocha frappuccinos, those are all things that have no nutritional value. Complex carbs keep you fuller for a longer period of time because they take your body longer to digest or break down, and you burn more calories while digesting this type of food. Complex carbohydrates, there's a list at the end, but that's things like quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat bread, things like that. So that's a little bit on that. You can prepare more complicated meals as your skills improve. So in the beginning, you want to start off slow. For your larger meals, think in macro categories, which means that every meal should include a lean protein source, a healthy carbohydrate source, and a good fat source. Sometimes they overlap, like in salmon, for example. It's a good fat and protein source. It just needs to have a good complex carbohydrate to go with it. In addition, you should have a vegetable source for most meals if they are not already in the carbohydrate category. Start with simple food combinations. For example, the protein, tofu, the carbs, oats, the fats, seeds, the vegetable, carrots. That's just very basic. I know. Tofu, you're probably saying, I don't like tofu. Then switch out the tofu for a protein that you do like. Prepping snacks is easier as they don't require all 4 food groups. And the 4th food group is fiber. But I will say that if you do include a healthy protein, fat, and carb, complex carb in your snacking or a combination of that, you will stay fuller for a longer period of time. That's the purpose of eating all the macros. You should have the necessary ingredients on hand to prepare what you want. This is where a healthy and simple grocery list comes in handy. Instead of buying whatever you want, you go to the supermarket and know exactly what you are going to get. At the same time, you will not buy things that will put your willpower to the test, like chocolate or cookies. Now, I'm not saying that you could never have that. I'm just saying if you have, you're less likely to eat those things if it's not in your house. Another tip is to buy larger quantities of food at once, as this will help save you money. BJ's and Costco will be your new best friend. An easy and effective way to prepare food is to make bulk meals that you can divide into many same-sized meals. So, for example, you make one big pot of, let's say, I don't know, I can't think of, chicken stir-fry. You make one big thing of chicken stir-fry, and then you portion it out into the same size meals. Maybe that could be your lunch for the week, or maybe that could be your dinner for the week. And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't like to eat the same thing every day. Then make it for Monday and Wednesday, and then have something different for Monday nights, so that would be your lunch for Monday. Have something different for Monday's dinner and Wednesday's lunch. You see how that works? There's a lot of ways you can work it. Don't overcomplicate it. You make one meal for today, and that can be extra for tomorrow's lunch. So you just cook double. So instead of making one meal, make two or two servings, have one for dinner and one for lunch the next day. It can be that simple. Or you could prepare the same lunch for the whole week, if that's something that you like. Invest in high-quality food containers that are simple to stack, open, and clean. A lot of times, the stackable containers like this are hard to open, but I will give you a little, since I'm a hormone expert, I will give you this little tidbit that the plastic containers, even the PBA-free ones, which everyone should be using, after a while of your food sitting in it and microwaving it and going back in the refrigerator, the chemicals from the plastic can leach out into your food. So I suggest glass containers. Yes, they're a little more costly, but I've had mine for a long time and I haven't lost a lid like I do with the Tupperware ones. They do have a tendency to get stuck, so they can be a little more difficult to open, but they are much safer for you and they do less damage to your hormones because the plastic in the containers acts as a xenoestrogen, which mimics estrogen, which can make your hormones out of whack. So, enough about that. Establish a scheduled meal for preparation and make it a habit. Don't just wait for the food to run out to start food prepping or to go to start shop for food. You can go grocery. That's the opposite of what we're trying to do. Instead, allot time in your schedule for meal preparation. You can go grocery shopping on Saturday, and then you can prepare all the meals for Sunday, or you can set aside 20 minutes every day after work to prepare the next day's meals. Do what works for you. Not everybody wants to spend an hour or more in their kitchen on a Sunday or a Saturday cooking. You can just take the time. Maybe you want to just chop up your vegetables for the salad and then have it ready to go. And then maybe that day you can just throw it into a bowl and have it as a side dish. Or maybe you want to get all your ingredients together and package them accordingly, like everything you need for chicken stir fry, have it ready to go. Everything you need to make a meatloaf, have that ready to go. Prepare it in advance, and this way when you get home, everything's already where it needs to be, and all you have to do is put it together and cook it. I myself, what I like to do is I make a big bowl, a big batch of, let's say, chicken stir fry or turkey stir fry or turkey meatloaf. I do two things. I put one thing on the top of the stove and one thing in the stove. So on the top of the stove, on the burner, I'll be making the chicken stir fry. I'll be browning the chicken. I'll have the frozen vegetables in the microwave. I'll cook the rice. And then inside the oven, maybe I'm making grilled chicken or baked chicken or something completely different like turkey meatloaf or turkey meatballs or whatever. You want to, so this way you're in the kitchen for less time. You're making 2 meals, but instead of wasting 2 days making 2 meals, you stay there for one, just one time and you make 2 meals. And then you make enough of those meals that you can split them into single-sized portions. And that is the easiest way to meal prep. But do whatever works for you, and you want to make it a regular habit. And you want to make it enjoyable. Maybe you can listen to music, audiobooks, do it with your spouse, invite your child to come along and help you. Do whatever works for you. If you're a natural cook, you'll enjoy the process more than someone who hates cooking. But don't worry if you aren't. It's another skill you will improve at once you practice. It gets easier and more enjoyable over time. And that's basically it for meal prepping. Now let's get into how to prepare balanced meals. It's important to include each macronutrient group as we have discussed. Each macro group serves a purpose in your body. Let's start with proteins. Protein is the single most important nutrient for weight loss and a better looking body. A high protein intake boosts metabolism, reduces appetite, and changes several weight regulating hormones. Proteins grow, maintain, and repair the muscle and tissues in our bodies. Muscles will only grow if you take in enough protein to repair and strengthen the damage that you've done. Muscle revs metabolism and burns fat all day, which is why you want more of it. Now we're going on to healthy fats. Healthy fats are things like avocado oil, olive oil, olives, salmon, things like that. So fat is a carrier of flavor and nutrients. Many of the vitamins and minerals in your food cannot be absorbed without it. Vitamins A, D, E, and K need to have fat for your body to absorb it. So fat is critical for healthy brain function, cardiovascular health, hormone balance, building lean muscle, and reducing inflammation. Fat is also a primary source of energy required to help your body burn fat effectively and revs your metabolism when eaten in balance. Fat helps balance your fat storing and fat burning hormones, and they will leave you satisfied for fuller for longer, nourished, and less likely to feel the intense need for a sugar fix. So fat keeps you fuller for a longer period of time. And the last macronutrient are carbohydrates. These provide quick and efficient energy for your body and the brain. Too few carbs can leave you feeling tired, weak, moody. But too many, and often too many of the wrong carbs, can cause you to have sugar cravings, weight gain, energy crashes, and fatigue. The wrong kind of carbs are simple, usually processed, low calorie, low fat, or found in those grab and go snack packs. Anything that's labeled fat free, low fat or whatever, they take the fat out of it, and when they do that, the food tastes less appealing. So they add in more sugar, more salt, more chemicals. So it's really not worth it to get something that's labeled low fat, low calorie, or whatever. These include things like candies, desserts, cereals, sodas, alcohol, ice cream. You get the idea. White bread, white refined products. I recommend carbs that are slow digesting, like complex carbohydrates, and that add fiber to keep you feeling fuller longer. And fiber is something that your body doesn't digest, and it helps to, if you drink it, you have to drink enough water, and you'll be able to go to the bathroom more regularly. So here is a very simple list. For all meals and snacks that you eat, be sure to include a lean protein, a complex carb, and a healthy fat. These are the macronutrients, aka macros. Macros are categories of food that our bodies require in large quantities. These are core essential nutrients and are divided into 3 sections, as we said. And as I explained, each one of these serves a purpose. So some examples of carbs are asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower, quinoa, brown rice, things like that. Fat is avocado, hemp seeds, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, high quality oils, walnuts, most nuts, hummus, and proteins are things like fish, chicken, cheese, milk, beans, lentils, and then sesame seeds, flax seeds. So some of these overlap, like we saw with the salmon. For example, an egg is protein, and if you eat the yolk, it's fat. So it has protein and fat. The simplest way to make your meal is right here. I included a here's how to build your meal cheat sheet. You're just going to choose one from each column, and yes, it's that easy. So you're going to start with the lean protein. You're going to choose a vegetable. You're going to choose a healthy fat. Either you're going to have it on the side or drizzle it over it. A healthy fat can be something as simple as a handful of almonds, a handful of pistachios, a handful of, hemp seeds or whatever. If you want to add your seasonings to it, pepper, salt, things like that, chives, garlic, knock yourself out. And you're going to have a starch. Now here it says optional, but I encourage it. A complex carbohydrate. That's going to keep you full longer. So when you eat like this, when you have your lean protein, a vegetable, a healthy fat, and a complex carbohydrate, if that's not already from the vegetable, like a sweet potato, let's say, or a little bit of brown rice or quinoa, that's going to keep you full for at least 3 to 4 hours, as opposed to having just, let's just say, a bagel with cream cheese, or I can't think, or just a sandwich. You want a whole meal, and this is how you do it. And if you find that I don't like, pork loin that's listed here on the lean protein, then just swap it out for something else. And it's that simple. You can search the net for other choices, but it's that easy. It's that easy to meal prep. You can make it as hard or as easy as you want it to be. And this is as easy as it gets right here on how to balance your plate. If you have any questions, let me know. But this is what you need to start. Now you know how to meal prep and build your meal and snack. So now you're ready to go for the program. This is a skill that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life. And if you would like, I can attach in the Facebook group, I will put in this slide of the how to make a healthy meal. And that'll be in there. Also, in your bonus section, you're going to get all of this in PDF form. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you found this informative.